Science-based lifting is not necessarily a bad thing, but it has its weaknesses. And it just mainly because of the way people apply science-based lifting. So science-based lifting, I usually regard it mainly as three things. Really controlling the eccentric when performing an exercise. Going higher on the rep range zone, so usually they're in between the 10 to 18 rep range zone. And then also science-based lifters usually do a bit more odd exercises. So instead of doing like normal lats pull downs, they do single arm lats pull. It's not necessarily odd, but you get what I mean, because there's like a bit more muscle stimulation in that lats. Instead of doing like normal bicep curls, they do the inverted bicep curl, because that's the EMG studies have shown that there's like 3% more muscle growth in that way. The point I want to get to is, maybe that is true, and it probably is true because the studies, I don't think they're like corrupt. So maybe training like more controlled, training like with a 4-second eccentric is better for muscle growth. But at what cost? If you train a bit more like the way I will, the better alternative to science-based lifting, which I'm going to tell to you in a minute, you get the gym fun. You want to keep going to the gym. I've been science-based lifting for like 6 months, 7 months, most likely during my plateau phase. And the thing was that I stopped enjoying the gym. I genuinely stopped enjoying the gym, and especially like my back days and my leg days were like so terrible. And also with chest, I was not doing bench press because it says that like the chest flies, or like this weird single arm incline chest fly / press is better for muscle growth than just barbell bench press. And I believed it, and I just tried other things. I did not grow like any faster. I probably, because I was in a plateau phase, kind of stuck around a bit, grew a little bit, not really. Incorporated bench press again. Started growing my chest again. Started growing my triceps. Suddenly my triceps started growing after, instead of doing a cute tricep push downs with 30 kg, doing like 80 kg GM press, like more like a close grip bench press because of my form was not that great, doing heavy screw crushers, doing heavy tricep push downs like 50-55 kg. And outside of the fact that it is more fun, I also grow faster. And it is because placebo. So yes, when you think, yes, I'm getting stronger, I am growing. So with science-based lifting, the thing is that you are not that progressively overloading that fast, because you're doing like the really stretched and then really slow, and maybe once a month you progress like 1.25 kg. With my way of training, you can add like 2.5 kg every single month. It is way more fun, and you also just get to lift more heavy weights, more compound movements, which are just generally better for muscle growth. Isolation exercises, that is the last bad thing about science-based lifting, is they really focus on isolation exercises because there's more tension in a specific muscle than, let's say, when you're doing a lats pull down, there's less tension in your biceps than when doing just normal bicep curls. There's like more tension. That's, I think, normal sense, common sense. But let me tell you this, every muscle group needs a compound and an isolation movement. So neither of them is like bad and needs to be cut out, but you need to incorporate both. And science-based lifters are just doing, okay, so instead of training, for example, heavy lats pull downs, which will target your biceps and your back, they just do unlimited variation cable curls with 5 kg, and then they do single arm lats pull downs. So just they are isolating every single muscle group. It is not that fun. You're really tiring yourself, your cardiovascular system. Whilst I'm just doing like 120 kg heavy lats pull downs, and my biceps are growing and my lats are growing as well. So the way that I call my way of training is FunMax lifting. It is focusing on making the gym more fun while still keeping in mind some of the science-based lifting techniques and even some of like the ego lifting techniques, combining this all together into this new FunMax form. A lot of people quit like once in their life for the gym for a few months, for forever, a few years, especially like the beginning stages. It is because they're too quickly morph into the science-based lifting, and it is just way less fun. It's way less enjoyable. You just, as I described, you increase the weights less, so you get less of this positive momentum. Yeah, I'm getting stronger. I want to go to the gym again. It's like, oh, do I need to do 35 reps of Bayesian cable curls again today? Oh, because it says that, oh yeah, biceps has more type B fibers, which means that it reacts better to higher rep ranges. Just shut up. Just shut up. First of all, you're going to focus on doing a lot of compounds. So you begin your workouts, or whatever workouts you're doing, like I recommend something like a push-pull legs and then something for abs. What you need to remember is to, at the beginning of your workout, do the compounds. At the end of your workouts, do the isolation exercises. So you do the heavy rows, the lat pull down or the pull up. Then you do like some isolation bicep exercise. You do like another compound back exercise. You do now a isolation back exercise. You do a isolation bicep exercise. Then you finish off with like a drop set. With legs, you start with like squats and hip hinges like the deadlifts, like the Romanian stiff leg deadlifts. And you end up more with like the leg extensions, leg curls, which are a bit lighter. And you're really isolating just one muscle. That is the first thing about my way of training. The second thing then would be is to cut out most of the optimal exercises and do more of fun exercises. What is the fun exercise you can think of right now? I can think of bench press. I can think of lat pull downs with like heavy weights. I can think of heavy tricep skull crushers where you're really like pushing your fuel. You can literally see like that vein on your tricep. Those are fun exercises. Maybe they're not, maybe, I've for like a few weeks tried doing single arm skull crushers. Maybe I thought, oh, a bit more focus on my triceps. But it just started hurting my joints and I was not like really going up in weights. Switched back a week ago to both arm skull crushers. Immediately felt so much greater. Immediately felt my tricep more. Immediately felt like my tricep started growing again. So focus more on fun exercises and then just make sure that you're not like having an extremely bad form. So still make sure, hey, have some technique, especially for the isolation exercises here. Still incorporate like a 2-second eccentric phase, 1 second up. 2-second eccentric phase, 1 second up. I'm not saying to cut out it all and just start yanking weights around because you don't want to injure yourself as well. But thinking about exercises like pull-ups and lat pull downs, for example, you cannot really hurt yourself there. Like generally, how are you going to injure yourself when you just, you need to have like good grip, but you cannot really hurt yourself by going up and down too fast because even your shoulders, you're not going to hurt yourself that way. But for example, with a bench press, yes, you can tear a rotator cuff or like your pec by not arching your back and just pushing out of your front delts and your triceps. Then you're going to injure yourself at some point. And then what we are going to do is to avoid excess. We're going to avoid excessive reps, so going above like 12 reps, excessive form, so like over exaggerating the form, not for any more muscle growth, just because you now think, oh yeah, I'm having the right form. Over exaggerating the exercises, picking too odd exercises, over exaggerating like the eccentric phase, like an 8-second eccentric phase, 1 second, and only then come up. Avoid all that. Go for like a more sustainable approach that you can really like still make fun. So fun maxing is like the fundamental thing here. Just make sure that your workouts are fun, pick fun exercises. Still keep your mind science-based lifting, have some basics of like having like a good form, okay, with doing a bench press, retract your shoulder blades when doing like pull downs or doing rows, chest up, pull with your elbows or pull with your biceps regarding of which muscle you want to target more. And that's basically it. Then it's sustainable. You will see that you will really start adding weights again. And the last tip would be, if you have been in some form of a plateau, just increase the weights. If you've been on a plateau and you are like anything of 8 reps or above, which I think you have been doing, so you are doing like bench press 80 kg for 8 reps, but you just cannot get that 9th rep, my advice would be just add weights. Go for 82.5, do it for like 6 reps. And I promise you that the next time you train your like chest after you're recovered, you do 7 reps. And then maybe in 1 week, you do 8 reps. And then you can add a little bit more weights again. Always, if you are in this plateau for a muscle group, what you need to do is just increase the weight. It is going from 8 to 9 reps on a lighter weight is harder than going from 6 to 7 reps on a heavier weight. It's weird to explain, but it is true. I found this so many times in my own training that I kind of come to this point where I cannot really like increase the reps, but I can increase the weights. So now I increase the weight, and then let's say a month from now, we do like the old weights again. Suddenly we do like twice as much reps that we used to. Suddenly we can bench like for 14 to 16 times. I think, what, how did that happen? I did not take steroids. It is because of increasing the weight, challenge your central nervous system in like a different way. It has been accustomed to, he is only going to increase the weight at 12 reps. Oh, he's increasing it right now. Shit, let's make muscle protein synthesis do its thing. He will start growing like in strength. So mainly in strength, but also in muscle growth, just because there's like heavier weights being pushed. So you can say, yes, but muscle growth is about tension. That is true. But in the end, you can either push the weight up or not. So if you now struggle with pushing 80 kg up, and in a few months from now you push 100 kg, your form, like you could have the worst form. You can either push it up or not. So something has been getting stronger. And then I would still suggest, hey, do like some of the basic form cues. Don't overdo it. Have some basic form. And then you're good to go. And then you won't quit the gym. And like a few years from now, you will have your dream physique. Have a nice day.